cypher punk code in my blood like rust. We don't need your trust, we build or bust. OG bulls and the bears in the pit, whales in the deep with the code legit. Stacks on the chain, every block we commit. Hell in the noise, keep the system lit. Got S points stacking like bricks on a wall. Every mint a story, every holder stands tall. Club doors open, but you earn that call. Punk in the code, that's a digital brawl. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Build it raw, keep it loud, keep it wrong. From the stack to the chain, raise your cup, don't flunk. We don't need permission, we just function. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Bitcoin beats in the basement funk. When the market's dip, we double up. Cause truth don't die, we just punch back up. Pixel art soul with a having heart. Every drop's a drop kick, decentralized art. Got the goats, got the gang, got the club on fire. Every trade's a badge, every holder's a wire. They said NFTs are dead, we said bet. We meant meaning, they meant that. We burn the bridge and then we build the jet. On Bitcoin time, that's the safest bet. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Write your name in the mempool funk. From bears to bulls, we don't need luck. We fork the rules and we call it love. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Builders bleed orange, never run amok. When you see that mic, know it's spun by trust. DeOrganized crew, that's the upper crust. Freedom's messy, sauce on the floor. Cypher hands greasy, but we open the door. No gatekeepers, no overlords. We're cooking code on the kitchen board. Spaghetti in the stack, punk in the heart. Bitcoin layer 2 where we play our part. So spin that chain, let the blocks restart. We the chaos, we the art. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk. Be spaghetti, stay punk.
Call spinning up, Friday in the frame. Screens glow softly, builders by name. Governance talk, not a corporate game. Decentralized minds, all aiming the same. Push to the set repo, ideas on the wire. Merge or revise, that's how we conspire. No suits, no boss, just code and desire. Consensus and rhythm, truth in the choir. Under the hood we engage and refine. Every commit, a new design. Governance flowing, elegant lines. Sits in session, keeping time. Static on the mic, someone takes the floor. Let's break that loop, optimize more. Notes in the doc, pull requests in store. Decentralized future, open core. Some chase fame, we chase function. Every diff, a quiet junction. Autonomy hums, no corruption. Code is the art, coordination. sip call fades, but the repo remains. Jazz in the logic, truth in the change.
Let Hero tell us if that's too quiet. I know he likes his music loud, like his women. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. It is Sip Call Friday. We are back for, it's episode 160 something. I can't remember if it was 161, 162, or what. But we are back. 162. That's right. Last week was 161. And we just did the space. And I do think that that's a great medium too. But we are happy to be back here live. Hero and Haddy are with us. I will be bringing them up, and we will get started talking about what the latest is going on Stacks improvement and community innovation on Stacks. We have Hero Gamer in the house. How are you, Hero? Good morning, sir. Still morning where I am a little bit.
Yo, what's up?
What's happening?
Pretty good, and you? I'm very
hanging in there.
about AI. As always, ever more. Like I thought I couldn't be more excited, but with the open claw, I know I've been hearing you've been using it. So
I haven't even been using open claw. I've only been using like just Claude and figuring out that stuff. But I only used open claw for a minute.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I still have to get to the level of being able to use that, but it is amazing, like what's going on in this space, man.
You can use Claude, which is just like ChatGPT.
Right.
But there's
I
Claude
actually use
Code.
both.
That's like next level.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was some difference, but it turns out, Claude Code, you pay for it, and it's like adds an extra code at the end, and it's like actually for building, whereas Claude is more like ChatGPT, like you ask questions and stuff.
Right. It's awesome. It's real. It's the tools that are coming online and the accessibility of them is pretty amazing. Really excellent. What's up, Haddy? How you doing today, man?
Hey, gents. How you doing? Happy Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th. A great day to relaunch the DeOrganized live streaming. And we did have a share of some hangups this morning that we weren't expecting. There's some new ways that they distribute the live stream on X, and I couldn't find our stream after I went live because normally there's a post right at the top of our timeline, and there was not, and I guess there's no longer going to be one unless I manually make that. So Friday the 13th rearing its head early this morning. We also got IOME in the house. How you doing, Iomi? Can you hear us? Well, feel free to jump in when you're available. So what's on the agenda for today, Hero? Can you hear me, Hero? Am I? No, I think you guys can hear me.
I can hear you, yeah.
So, I guess I saw something earlier today, and I haven't had a chance to look at it because I was already streaming when I caught it. And I don't know if this is on the agenda or not, and I'm not even sure if it's actually functional or something.
My laptop is lagging a little bit. So yeah, should have. I think Jesse from Stacks Foundation.
Nice. He's not here yet, but I will definitely add him.
Yeah, I can hear you. But are you hearing me?
It's very delayed, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I'm going to actually suggest Hero maybe reboot and then rejoin, because he's probably got too many AI tabs open. He's been doing too much vibe coding and it's eating up his RAM.
Yep, his RAM is probably full.
Yes.
Should we talk about the Stacks Town Hall and talk about the grants programs while we're waiting? Because those are quite big.
We can definitely talk about those. I've actually, so the Stacks Town Hall, I think I even have that. Or this, yeah. What? Yeah. Why don't we? I'm sorry. I thought you meant the office hours, which was talking about the endowment, talking about the new endowment grants programs. We did talk about that briefly. We didn't talk. The town hall was last week, right? So that was
the town hall was the week before, which announced the new grants, the 3 tracks. Obviously, only 2 are open as of Monday this week, and then obviously there was the AMA this week as well with Rena. Right.
Which I thought was great too. I missed that, but I was actually able to get it on Hero's follow up, his recap for it, which we covered this morning.
Yeah.
So I love that we got these grants delivered. This was one of the main SIP 31 deliverables that we were hoping for, that there would be access to funding for projects building on Stacks and community-oriented projects. And we do know that D grants cohort 2 will be coming. And then we also have these 2 other endowment-led grant programs, which are I don't have them in front of me what they're called, but there's the like the main developer grant program that's for established projects that have at least 6
months. So you've got builder grants was the one I think you're talking about, which is 10 to 50,000 stacks. You've got the getting started, which is generally the one that will kick out of D grants. So D grants is your grassroots. So it will be 5 to 10K, and then D grants is up to 5,000. So that's your progression as a builder in the ecosystem.
So the getting started. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay.
We can hear
you. Yeah. Cool.
All right. Nice. It doesn't seem like there's a big delay either. So we're right back on track.
Yeah. So you guys were talking about grants.
Yeah. We just wanted to let everyone know. Yeah. Sorry, peace.
So it would be D grants for new ideas, and then, or you might go into the new, what was that other one called? That middle one?
Getting started.
Getting started.
So getting started is if you have something already built. So that's kind of what that grant is for. Is you have an idea and you're looking for product market fit and early proof of concepts. You've got something already. D grants is primarily at like BNS, NFT, meme coin, AI. So like the newer testing stuff. Hey, Blockface. So it's education, the cultural workshops and stuff. So the other one is if you've got a product and you're looking to bring it here, that's your starting point, which will be the idea. It's seeding idea grants is what it's actually, the little subtitle.
Nice. Yeah, no, and that's
so the way I view the differences between 3, especially with the getting started versus D grants, is that the getting started one, at least my own interpretation is very app focused heavy. So it's not like you post some educational stuff and then, that's your getting started app. Like I think the app has to work towards some kind of actual TVL related metrics. at least finding the product market fit in order to generate those metrics later on. Whereas DeOrganized has broader scope that can be content creator related. But I think getting started is not designed or optimized for content creators, the likes of. That's my interpretation anyway so far. But
yeah, it actually does seem to resonate with what I read too. DeOrganized has more flexibility for the types of projects where the getting started and then the regular builder grants have more technical alignment with blockchain development, growth of the ecosystem with on-chain metrics.
Mm-hmm.
So we covered. I'm assuming this might have been on your agenda for today, Hero. Do we have a?
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's part of governance, so it's good to talk about. You know, I think my personal impression is, I would love to have seen something that's AI focused. You know, I don't even want to apply, but I just wish that if people believe we want to drive more AI related people to stacks, I think it's good to have a track specific for that. But I can understand like it can be like overcomplicate, like there's so many different options. So as long as we can get some good AI developer into the ecosystem, I'm all good.
Yeah, I think it mentions AI in D grants only, but I think if you've got, I think it does say for pre-product market fit founders and early proof of concept, so funding unique ideas to build beta or pilot demos. So I think it does leave it open enough for AI there in getting started.
I think they will all come no matter what. But I think if you want something specific that's important enough, just carve it out on its own. I think that would be, you know, you have other chains design programs specifically for content creators. Right? You're a content creator, it's obvious, just go and apply for that rather than wrapped up in DeOrganized that has content creators and various other stuff. So I think it just depends, like each chain does it really differently. So yeah, it depends what we want to prioritize, I guess.
I assume Adam's probably and Kenny are going to pick up on that with more hackathons, I would assume.
Yeah,
That's
I think they're
probably
doing pretty good topics for hackathons, you know, of late, X4 or USDC or whatever else. Yeah, pretty good to see. Which block they submitted?
I did my whole hackathon in one day. Just one day. Like, it's different now. Once you start unleashing these developers with their agents, they're caught.
You froze for a minute, Mike.
Oh, let me take off my camera. So what I'm thinking, it took me 5 hours from beginning to end to notice there was a hackathon to submitting. I'm talking about creating the commercial, doing the audio with 11 Labs, getting the infographic with Nano Banana, Claude doing everything. I've never done a hackathon submission end to end, including programmable Bitcoin, by the way. Programmable Bitcoin was something I never got a chance to include in my, I always needed Rocky's helper, Aiden's helper, Paul's helper, Vance's help. But with X402, anything that is happening in OpenClaw can be done on Bitcoin. I'm telling you right now with what Toonie created with X402.
So Mike, I'm just going to say, because I don't quite understand, but I believe I understand.
Neither do I. Does that make sense? I'm only telling you my level of understanding.
So you're starting in Claude code?
Yes.
And you're basically saying what you want. You're telling it what you want to do, and it's basically giving you the map on how to do that and walking you through step by step on how to do it.
I'm watching it do it. So for example, I'm like, hey, can we create economic actors with wallets and testnet tokens and have them have a conversation exchanging money? I have this x402pay.com I think is the website, right? I hate
think
if
you're
I
right.
messed up, but I just gave it the website. I didn't give it the GitHub. I gave it just the website and said, I don't know, see what you can do, and it did it. No errors.
So, but X402 is allowing agent to agent transaction. So your agent that you're talking to is going to this marketplace and finding available APIs that will facilitate doing what you're asking it to do, transacting with them, and then building that mechanism to do it.
You got it. You have the mental model, yeah.
It's nuts.
And now you can do it on Bitcoin. Because
What is
again,
it?
go ahead.
What does it cost you to run that? Like 5 hours of time plus a couple bucks?
That is the thing. You know that I probably did API calls for less than $3? Because to test these things, I don't need a whole essay back and forth between these LLMs. Does that make sense?
Right.
I just want to show that questions and answers, one sentence, are going back and forth. Does that make sense? Right?
Mhm.
And with X402, I'm not necessarily using AI to make the payment. Does that make sense? Right? I'm just using an LLM through OpenAI with an API key. That's it. Once you understand what OpenClaw is doing, which is just AIs with connected to LLMs, connected to APIs with stable coins in their wallets, we can do this thanks to Stacks.
So, Blockface, what context did you have to give apart from X402 website? Because surely, like, you gotta give like the Stacks documentation or some other NPCs or whatever. So, what additional context did you
can tell
help
you.
the AI, the database or the knowledge base?
So I was anticipating this question. Do you mind bringing this up, piece for Hero?
I got it.
After I did the solution, a lot of investors are asking you when you're pitching, like Y Combinator, we applied for Y Combinator, and they said, I want you to submit a Claude session that you're proud of. And so after I did the solution, I created a recap of every single prompt in order. So do me a favor and see if you can follow this. You'll see all of my prompts.
Okay. So this is the beginning of your conversation.
So this is just it's a recap with explainers of what I prompted, what the response was. You'll see.
Okay. So Claude Code, this was over the last couple of days.
Mhm.
When's the hackathon over, by the way? Next
Couple
week?
days, I would think.
Yeah. It's like a week. It was a week long, right? It was just announced this week.
Yep.
So AI persuasion agents that autonomously pay each other, real STX on Stacks, L2 Bitcoin. Villains pay micropayments to engage Cindy, get evaluated for conversion, and earn STX rewards if they're convinced. All transactions are verifiable on the Stacks blockchain. Block Explorer. Built in 2 sessions with Claude Code. Wow. So I'm not sure why some of the terminology, I don't know whether, like, what is designated as a villain? Why is something called a villain?
Okay, so the whole premise of this, the use case is, can Cindy convince other agents to change their religion?
So they're not going to need to rent our souls. They're going to develop their own. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, they are talking to each other, right? So they need to convince each other
Exactly.
what's the best place to build sometimes. You know? They are literally autonomously thinking, group chatting with each other, basically. That's what they're doing.
So we have 700 recorded spaces over the last 5 years on Twitter Spaces, and this is how we use the data I was able to create all of the villains from the people I talk to in spaces.
Oh, so I'm a villain in here somewhere?
Hero, villain, sidekick, mentor, as it were. We keep going. You'll start digging into my actual tweets. This is just giving you an idea of what was created. And again, I'm taking the paradigm of OpenClaw. I don't want to use OpenClaw because the surface attack area is still being discovered.
It's so wild because like here you're talking about credit assessment and lending pool and whatnot, and loan applications.
Actually, I would like to ask you, Block, please.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, actually, I'll let Peace finish.
No,
sorry.
No, actually, Hero, go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, did you come across any gas problems? I wouldn't want to call them problem, but did you have to deal with gas?
Well, this right now is on testnet. I haven't taken it farther, but again, we have so many different options on how these things can transact. Am I using things like STSDX staking? You know what I mean? USDH. Oh my god! I haven't even started looking at
the reason why I asked is because I don't know if you saw a post on my timeline and on Stacks forum. So I made a proposal, seeing what Polygon suggested. It's basically like a gas program, but for agents transactions. So the agents on mainnet wouldn't need to worry about the gas because it's sponsored or subsidized somehow.
Well, I would say yes, and I would take that idea one level of abstraction higher and say what you're really good at is noticing what happens in other network states like Ethereum and Polygon and bringing it as a idea paradigm to Stacks. Imagine we create an agent that automatically does what you do.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
Go to all the.
Now you're speaking my language. Yeah.
All right, I'll stop talking. Keep going.
That's awesome. Yeah, actually, that bot, like the hero bot, can just be like constantly watching the conversations. That's a great idea. That's a great idea because I'm doing that as a human, but I only had limited capacity.
Yeah,
I think that's a strong use case actually.
But keep in mind, it came because you were already doing it as a human being. Automating something that doesn't work and isn't proven is how you waste all your Mac money. Does that make sense? You proved it out.
We're not doing it just like once in our lifetime, right? We're doing it several times throughout the year, or like crypto is moving so fast. Ideas comes, some ideas go to waste, but good ideas will stay, and we don't need to like hit on all the good ideas. If we hit on a few, that's better than zero. And I think people in Stacks tend to have very stack-centric view, but
naturally,
I think it's good to zoom out. Like you guys went to Sui or which other chain, did a hackathon, and sort of brought back the suggestion or brought back the perspective of MCP, right? And then that will allow the dev to get on like much quicker without mistakes entering hackathon.
Yeah, this whole idea of a religious persuasion agent came because Rocky told me about the Monad hackathon. We went to San Francisco for a Monad hackathon last year, and so it was on our radar. And then when I saw the X402 hackathon, I was like, oh shit, maybe I can do everything that I was trying to do with OpenClaw with X402. And again, because I met Toonie in Buenos Aires, I trusted his work. You know what I mean? Like, so that gave me the other motivation. I've never done programmable money in a demo before, but because I know he created this X402 and I met him, he won an Ethereum competition before this. So we're all kind of working on other network states and taking the best and, constantly reworking our strategy. But do me a favor, please. Can you scroll down? I just want to get to the prompting part. So this is just kind of the preamble here.
Yeah, let me
Keep going.
there we go.
All right. So that's some details on the challenge. Okay, session 1. Look at that human. That's me. Can you read that out? This is how I started.
So you put the link and then said, I'd like to now consider how we might turn these agents. So you'd already created the agents in some capacity.
Yeah.
Turn these agents into economic actors that interact with each other, leveraging Stacks L2 Bitcoin blockchain. And all you gave it was X402.
That's it.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to prime it on anything else.
It reminded me of the hackathon I entered for Gemini. I just sent the website to Grok, actually. Say, hey Grok, this is the website. This is the hackathon. I like to suggest me some ideas for entry.
So keep reading. Look at the power of Claude here.
So Claude fetched the X402 stacks documentation and explored the existing Cindy code base in parallel. So it did these at the same time. Identified the convergence. Cindy has social dynamics. X402 provides economic dynamics. Together, a simulation where ideas compete in a market and the most convincing argument literally pay dividends. Brilliant, actually. And then Claude Claude suggested this. X402 pay per interact, conversion staking, full agent economy, explore X402 SDK first. And then you chose to explore X402 SDK first. And they said, you're a smarty pants, good job. And now it did all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you prompted it to create appropriate folders and markdown and lessons for other devs while you're doing this. So are you interacting with where's the interface? Where are you interacting with?
I mean, it's just on Cursor. So it's Cursor and Claude together.
Okay. So you're on Cursor.
Cursor's like, Microsoft Word for coding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but it also has its own AI interface.
Yes, I'm using both when I run out of credits.
So that's actually what I was doing with just the regular Claude, like LLM interface. Because I have it for free. So it's like it does run out pretty quickly once I start asking it questions. And then I'll just copy everything I did in there, drop it into ChatGPT and say, hey, guide me through this for the next 2 hours while I'm waiting for my access to refresh.
And now there's auto accept. So you can just say, hey, just press enter for me when you're done. So keep reading.
Okay, so we created these folders.
And these might have a guest coming, by the way.
Okay.
And I also like to check out the Stacks forum and the SIP repo, by the way. So
sure. So we can. Well, do you want to?
Yeah,
Mike,
quickly scan through this, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Notice from the human. Just look how simple my words are. I'm not using computer science words here. How do we fund the wallets with testnet tokens? That's it.
Right, but you are being detailed.
Yes.
And specific.
Yes. By the way, those links work. Those are like, it works.
How did you get the sessions out of the Claude or Cursor?
I said, hey, Y Combinator often asks for really interesting Claude sessions. Can you format this for Y Combinator so they can evaluate us as investable entities.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great pro.
So I
Very cool.
actually posted the link for this underneath the pinned post on the DeOrganized page for the live stream, so people can go check this out further. And if we have time after we get through Hero's agenda, we'll maybe we'll talk more about this on Monday, Mike. There's a lot here.
The big idea for everyone in the audience is this is on GitHub. It's all there. And so if you can get this with working with Cursor and Claude, if not, we can maybe walk piece through it on Monday where we get this set up from scratch so everyone can see how it's done. You are not going to be doing many things to get this started because I made sure that it can work out of the box and everything's documented already for the AI. So you don't have to do much. It's all there.
Yeah, if you do run through anything AI related, I'll try to join on Monday. And when I figured out how to set up OpenClaw, I can also help others to set it up.
We can maybe walk through that Monday too, Hero.
Yeah, OpenClaw is not as easy because you need to do some command line stuff, but it's doable.
I am set up to do it. I can do it. I can screen share if you want.
Yeah, and I think for your purpose, piece, I think you will find probably OpenClaw more better return because I've seen lots of people use OpenClaw to do like the daily stuff that you did, you related to what you're currently doing, and I think those stuff can be fully automated.
It might be a better process than what I'm doing now, just trying to go back and forth between Claude and ChatGPT, and then
essentially like you will set up like a little employee, and he is your daily content guy, and then you can set up like a research guy or a social media guy, or and they will have a little meeting of their own, like some people like.
So I can create a content manager that manages the content, and then I can create 100%. A social media manager that actually distributes the content after the content 100%. Manager. All right,
and they will have a little scrum of their own whenever they need. They will discuss things. They have relationship with each other. They like each other or they don't like each other. So people built this. I posted a picture. Basically, it's like a little 2D office-like thing, and you have characters and you give names to each employee, and then they have like a water cooler they go and chat, and then they go back to their desk, and on their desk they have a computer. That's how you can visually see it. Like actually this starts to make sense if you break down your little AI startup in this way and organize the tasks as if they were employees of yours, and it's not like you have to manage them. You create somebody to manage them almost, but you will still have that. You are the architect, you are the strategist, but they will do the work.
I'm in. What did you want to go to next?
So do you want to maybe get Stacks Forum up?
I have it right here, actually.
And actually related to Blockface, this AI stuff. One of the I had taken from Polygon, you can see that post piece, is that we have various ways to help the AI agentic economy on Stacks.
And this is the agent. Here we go. Yeah. The agentic commerce.
So
yeah.
So you can do it on a technical level. Maybe create some sort of instant settlement ideas, whatever. But one of the ideas that's to do with fees. I believe in Blockface. You can double check, but in the X402, there is a concept called sponsor fees as well. So the agents doesn't have to, you don't have to send the agents money. There's some like somebody in the middle who can sponsor the transaction, so that it makes less friction for you to operate all the agents. So I think this idea helps that there's some entities or some pot of money that help to fund the transactions of the agents. So it reduces the friction to get started, because it's often, even if you don't talk about agents with humans, when we create wallet, often like that's the first problem that we come across. How do we get SCX into our wallet?
So
Right?
I think so. This is maybe how it could work. And I'm not sure how Polygon's doing it, so this could be way off. But maybe the way it is, maybe it's a reimbursement incentive. So
Yeah.
like I create my fleet of agents, and then I create one that's like a budgetary central, that actually is sponsoring the gas fees for all of those transactions. And then I can submit to Stacks if they want to create a fund for something like that.
Yeah.
All of the transactions and show the fees. And for Stacks, the value they're getting is not just the development, but also access to the data for those transactions that they can then use to, maybe if they want it. I don't even know if they find value in that, but that's that's what I would, maybe some kind of model like that where you have to submit. It's not all proactive fee sponsorship.
So do you mean like retroactive?
Yeah, like show the fees, communicate, and that could also be just another X402 agent too that it submits.
Yeah. By the way, I think Jesse might jump on, so just watch the guests list.
Yep.
If you.
Yep.
But yeah, no, like any idea to just reduce the friction. I'm not saying this is the only idea. It's to open the conversation again, I guess, is what I would like to encourage, because we don't have enough focused groups or strategies. We don't have an official strategy. We have strategy for BTC self-custodies. We have strategies for stablecoin. We have strategies for various other things. But we do not have, as an ecosystem, officially a written strategy for AI agentic economy, right? And I think that this is the only thing I like to drive the conversation towards by starting out this post. So maybe people have other ideas around, technical solutions that can help to create lesser friction for the agents. Welcome all those ideas.
It's very interesting, and I think, to your point, just getting the conversation started is how we get there, right? So
Yeah.
making this topic for discussion opens up the door to structure out what that future support and roadmap looks like.
Yeah, I mean, we did the same for Rafa, right? For the passkey, we deliberately had a focus because we can spot that could be a really good potential ideas. We try to encourage people to talk about MCP. I think it's how we get started, and it's not like I had an idea out of thin air. I look at the post of the Polygon. If you scroll down, there's a link to the CEO of Polygon Labs. He posted about it, and that's why I'm like, why are we not doing it?
Makes too much sense. Oh, here's Jesse.
Hello.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing, man?
Okay.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah, let me get my camera on here. As you see my beautiful sick face, I'm not feeling too well.
Oh man, you're
Oh,
giving me
no.
beard, you're giving me beard envy over here, brother.
So,
Happy Sick Friday. Sorry, Hero. Go ahead.
So welcome, Jesse. We do, as I don't know if everybody knows Jesse, but maybe Jesse would like to give a quick intro, who you are, what you do at Stack Foundation.
Man, coming at me with the hard questions. What do I do is a fantastic question. I do a little bit of everything, and what I am transitioning into doing more of is working on SIPs. So you'll see me all over the place. You'll see me, signing releases, answering questions in Discord when people have a problem running a node. You'll see my commits in StackScore and other related repositories, just handling various things. Like when someone has a problem, there's a good chance I'll be part of the attempt to resolve it. The way I usually describe it is I'm an engineer's engineer. So when the big brains like Jude and Aaron and Bryce are working on something, I'll try to pick up all the side tasks so they can focus on the big problems.
Nice.
It's always a tough question, Hero. So segueing into SIPs, I've been doing a lot of work, particularly alongside the Zero Authority folks.
Thanks a lot. And we often, I often think of myself as that too.
Yeah. So Zero Authority folks have been working on this fantastic website and platform for SIPs.
Do you want to bring it up, piece like the SIP repo? Maybe we can just show people what Jesse has been doing.
The repo itself it's going to take some work, but it's important work to support the work that Zero Authority has been doing. There's several things I've done over the past week that are not immediately visible. The main one is giving it better rule sets, adding different teams, and just enforcing standards, because if we don't have better standards and enforce those standards, the platform that Zero Authority has been working on will start having, it'll be challenging for them to do their work. I just want to make a better SIP experience all around.
Is there a direct link to the SIP part on Zero Authority on the main page?
Yeah, you just do / after the .com SIP.
All right, easy. And just get this up here.
Did that work for you, please?
Yes, sir.
Easy peasy.
All right, so. All right, so this is the page we're talking about. Or not. What's going on? There we go. Everything's a little slow this morning. So this is what we're building out here, and I believe did I hear that there's the functionality to submit your SIP is now live on here?
Yeah, it's been announced. It was announced that it's live. Yes. So I haven't tested it yet. So just so you know.
All right. So learn how it works, and here you have all of the. You have draft proposals over here. You got Larry's SIP, Hero's SIP 000 update, Zanny's SIP. Which he's excited. This actually has a SIP number now too. I think it's SIP 38.
They all do.
Oh, do they all?
Yeah, that's part of what I've been doing. We need to enforce these things a lot better, just to get better at the SIP process all around. Because behind the scenes, what this platform relies on is tight controls on the repository itself. So if we can tighten that up and make it better, the platform will be much better.
Nice.
So they don't have to do a lot of, one-off changes just to account for things that aren't being done in the repository.
Yeah, so we have a much cleaner flow between the two. And it's near instantaneous.
So I can,
my request to everyone here, before you go, I could use help. I saw things that needed to be done. I went in and did them. I got myself added to the SIP editors cab. I'm looking for volunteers to help. Anyone who's interested, please reach out.
What kind of help are you looking for specifically?
Well, I would love to see all the cabs updated. The technical cab hasn't been refreshed in a while. The governance cab, etc. The SIP editors cab. It contains myself and Claire now. Objectively, it shouldn't, but I just needed to get in there to start making some changes to support this tool that we have. I would love to take myself out of that group. I'm looking for editors.
What is the responsibility of the editors?
Basically to enforce standards. They make sure that the formatting of a SIP is correct. And then once that correctness is good, there's no duplicates of a SIP, they assign it a number. That's the basics of it. You can link to SIP 0000 where it describes the specific duties, but the main ones are the editors enforce standards.
And those standards are also in SIP 000.
Correct.
So, okay. So, and what is, if somebody is willing to be a SIP editor, where would they go to apply? Or how would they?
Yeah, so that is a great question. There is someone open an issue in the repository that I emailed them back on. The current cab minutes file, I believe it says to reach out on Discord to a few specific people.
Okay.
So I'd say open an issue or reach out on Discord using the cab minute file. Either one is acceptable. Or if you know me in Discord or someone else here, we can start the process there. You don't have to be technical to do this role. It's really just checking the standards, and then the SIPs are following a very normalized format, and there's no duplicates. So, if someone tries to propose, the Nakamoto upgrade again, like that should be rejected because it's already been done, things like that.
Right. So basically so I would imagine that there would be a lot of, anyone with a little bit of access to some AI tools so that they could actually go maybe reference SIP 000, reference all of the existing SIPs.
Oh, totally.
And just compare it to what's being proposed and the standards. And then
absolutely. And then it's kind of funny you mentioned AI. So Jason Schrader, he opened a PR the other day. I think it's listed here. I don't know, agent registries, I think. Yeah. He actually had a Claude MD file in there, which it got me thinking, there's probably some AI tooling that could really help a lot of SIP authors and SIP editors that maybe we should start considering using.
I even suggested that last week during our space call last Friday.
I think it's a fantastic idea. In this PR though, it's out of scope. So I asked them to remove that file. However, someone is an AI enthusiast that thinks we can add a Claude MD file to the repository, send it in. We'll take a look at it. We'll evaluate it. This is one repository that AI could really benefit, and it could absolutely help SIP editors. It can help the other CAB members to get a breakdown of what's happening, detect duplicates, for example. It's a great use case of an AI tool.
Blockface is actually building this right out in Claude code while we speak, I think. Is that?
Oh, yeah. So you're the guy that Hero vibe coded that SIP creation tool with, right?
That's
interesting. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that when he shared it with me. Very, very cool stuff.
with all the folks. So it's all coming full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hero fell off. I didn't notice. Sorry, Hero. I thought he was just being quiet.
Yeah, because at a very high level, what Hero is very good at doing is in looking at other network states, taking the best.
What we could do is, we could
Go ahead.
even have it as a. Yeah, we could even have it.
I think it's a delay.
Yeah, Hero, I think you're on a bit of a delay. It's because Hero's also trying to program it while we're streaming.
No, sorry.
He's talking through open call right now.
I was just delayed.
It's like music at different beats per minute.
Yes.
No, in any case, Blockbase, yeah, it's a very interesting
We're going to give you
tool.
10 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, Hero wanted to mention the hackathons we have on SIP.
A SIP hackathon. As long as it is not around proposing SIPs, but around improving the processes around it, yeah, that could work. Obviously, it would have to be very limited in scope. But yeah, that could do it. Tooling that ties into Zero Authority's platform, for example. Yeah.
I'm
It definitely could work.
I'm thinking about creating Claude skills based on the GitHubs of the most popular and influential developers on Stacks.
To do what?
The person on the SIP committee knowledge of Stacks itself to weed out, you know what I mean, and become a productive feedback operator.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Interesting. That could actually help a lot with detecting duplicates at a minimum. So someone's proposing a SIP that the code is already capable of doing. The skill could identify that. Or identify if an idea just won't work.
You're suggesting a consensus breaking proposal.
Yeah.
In this path.
Yeah, like re-adding the ability to fork the stack chain, for example.
To me, the more technical it is, the more it understands the logic gates. So instead of spending all of my Claude Max tokens going down the path of a consensus breaking, you know what I mean? Let's not allocate the token budget there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, I'd like to see what you come up with.
Yeah.
We'll see how effective it can be.
So Jesse, before we go, sorry, Peace, did you want to jump in quickly? Or
No, go ahead, Haddy.
Oh, okay, Jesse, I just wanted to ask a question. So around the cabs and the updates and then moving into editors. So editors is an overall facilitating role. And
Correct.
as cabs, what was the issue with the cabs of the updates? Is it that the updates aren't coming quick enough, or they're not being closed down, or?
Oh, no, not at all. So when a SIP gets to a cab vote, they're pretty responsive. However, those cab members, like in the technical cab, governance cab, etc., they haven't been recycled in a while. So I like to get some fresh blood in there, new people with a fresh set of eyes, not the same people over and over again.
Oh, okay, so this is separate to an editor, or you're saying you want the new blood coming into the cabs to also have an editor role at the same time? So you want it to
Not
be dual
necessarily.
function? Okay.
Yeah, not necessarily, but like, let's say that you're a technical-minded person. You think you can contribute to the technical cab and evaluate technical sets. You may also be a SIP editor, so you can enforce the standards, like make sure that the format is correct before it even gets to the technical cab. that's kind of the spot that I'm in. I'm a SIP editor because I requested it last week, and I'm also on the technical cab.
Okay, but I just want to clarify on this, but I wasn't quite sure. So
yeah,
you need a clear funnel.
Yeah, we need a better funnel. It just needs to be more consistent, like every 6 months to a year or so. We start adding and removing members who aren't responsive, and people that want to contribute, we add them in. The time commitment is really small, to be honest. Like, we don't get a lot of SIPs coming in that need to be evaluated, and editors can really drive that process forward. They can discard SIPs that just don't make sense, or they won't even bring it to the cabs until it's ready to be evaluated and on its technical merits or governance merits, whatever. So the time commitment is not much. You just have to be responsive when a vote is called.
Can confirm, by the way, because I'm on the governance cab, and it's very minimal unless there's a SIP going on, and even then it's really it's not much. It might be we meet for half an hour to talk about it. If there's anything serious, it might take an hour. That's about it.
Yeah, the longest time commitment is just reading the SIP and evaluating it, and that can take an hour or two, depending on how well you read it or how well you understand the subject matter.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so we just need a funnel for that at the moment.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll pick up on the back end with you about that. I think there's opportunity here.
And then we have been working on an update to SIP 000. A while back, Hero Gamer and myself, we identified deficiencies in the current model and the current rules. So between him, myself, Claire, or the Foundation, we've been drafting a new proposal. Like you can see in the dashboard here, Hero opened a PR already. We have something a bit more fully featured that is still kind of hidden. It's public if you know where to look for it. But we think it's going to solve a lot of the issues that we've seen with SIPs coming in, enforcing more standards across the board, and preventing some of the things we didn't like up until this point. So it's basically keep your eyes open. That PR will be open soon. What I'm doing now is I think I have all of the issues that Hero and I identified handled. I'm just in markdown hell. Fixing up the markdown so it looks good and it works. And then finally, what I want to do actually is feed it into a like Claude, and see if Claude can spit back out a valid SIP for me based on the SIP 0001 proposal. If it can do that, I would think it is good enough to open PR.
So Hero's suggesting that we just need to maybe make a note on the Zero Authority DAO page that we're looking for new blood in the process. Also, by the way, I don't mind contributing. I just don't know exactly where to. I just made a comment in the Discord just asking what the commitment is for a SIP editor. I assume that's a much more time, a broader time commitment than serving on the cabs, but probably still not a huge time commitment.
I don't think so. It's just different. So a SIP editor, you just have to do more smaller tasks than someone on a cab, right? So you'll have to see a PR coming in. You'll have to make sure that the standards are enforced. The format's correct. It's not a duplicate. Then you have to make sure that the statuses are being updated throughout the life cycle of the SIP. So it's less time consuming in one sitting, but it's about the same overall for the life of a SIP.
It might be, to be honest with you though, I think it would actually be a helpful thing if we're involved in that process, because we're trying to report on these things as they're coming up anyway. So it would help us keep tabs on what's developed that's report worthy as well if we're involved in that process. So I hesitate to actually try to put anything else on my plate, but it's I'm already involved in the SIP process, so I think happy to contribute if I can meaningfully do so.
Yeah, I would love to have more people as an editor. You know, you can be on 3 separate cabs. I shouldn't be on all the cabs because I am also a repository maintainer. So to me, it's a really bad look. I did it just to start pushing things forward. I would love to replace myself on the editor's cab with more active people, basically.
So there's an editor's cab.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be, if you're going to be an editor, you're going to be, you're on the editor's cab. But I could, even though I'm on the governance cab, I could be on the editor's cab.
Correct. Yes. The current rule is you can be on 3 separate cabs.
I wouldn't probably be on the other ones anyway, because I'm not,
No.
I'm not that, I'm not, governance. I
One
have
is usually enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to propose that we spin up an agent who's going to potentially apply for an internship, and her or his first order of business will be to look at all the proposed SIPs and vote with stable coins on which SIPs should go forward. And, you know, people can now look at the reputation of this individual actually voting with some sort of tokens. And if they prove useful, hey, maybe they fund more tokens.
How do you define reputation, though, in that context?
People who have previously authored a SIP to endorse ideas, that's where I see network state SIP jurisprudence. Because essentially, if I were to look at what do they call in America, like the group of judges the Supreme Court, everyone who's wrote a SIP so far in the Stacks network state history is on the Supreme Court, wouldn't you say? And that's the cab.
So one thing you'll have to consider is your system is already going to be biased.
Of course.
Well, it's going to be biased because you're asking for reputation from previous SIP authors and how this agent would be voting, right? So the author of SIP 31, if the agent voted against it, they may be inclined to lower their reputation.
Sure.
Or if it votes with SIP 31, the author may be inclined to say, yeah, this is a great reputation. It approved my current bias. So that's something you're going to have to account for. I don't think you can use prior SIP authors as a reputation score alone.
Not alone, but it's going to be a weighted average of these things.
I would honestly, I would take it as a very small percentage of the overall reputation. It's a good signal, absolutely, but it's a bit misleading, and it can be gamified very, very easily.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that if Freeberg suggests something and he upvotes something, man, that's a signal.
It is a signal, yes. But again, yeah, go for it. Let's see what it does, and then we can figure out later.
I like it. So what? So we covered the platform. We covered the need for new people into the SIP process. Editors, deputies.
Jesse, can you hear me? I hope there's no delay.
I can hear you. What's up?
Now?
Yes.
I think there's still a delay.
see. Let me see what your idea was. SIP deputies graduating to SIP editors. I don't agree with that, because that creates, like, we have the opposite problem. We don't have enough people that want to be editors today. So we can't support two similar classified groups. In my PR, I'm actually changing the nomenclature entirely. So the SIP editor's name is actually going away in favor of SIP deputies. Editors has a very interesting connotation to outside people who don't understand the process. So we felt that deputies actually works better overall because they're not really editing the SIP. They can suggest changes. The only thing that they're actually editing is the status and the SIP number.
I'm not sure what Hero's asking.
The process in the GitHub PR. Let me check the PRs. I think he's talking about his SIP 001 PR.
So
you're going to see his draft. Okay. Okay. Copy the link. I'll bring it back here.
so I can reply now in here too. Just links into the.
Just takes you to, yeah, it takes you to the forum. The forum's still the central place at the moment.
Cool though.
I see what you're saying, Hero. So he added a comment in the SIPs repository, pull request 241. He basically wants to enforce that SIP authors go through a defined process, but the process has a lot of external requirements. I don't think we can enforce the external requirements across the board. For example, we have some SIPs that have been opened today that are coming from ETH people, honestly. Yes. We can do our best to reach out to them and have them participate in this process that's on screen, but it's not enforceable. And if they don't follow that process, does that mean we don't consider their SIP? That's where I disagree. Like, I think these are good ideas, but at most they can just be best effort.
Sure. So it's more of a best practices than a required process.
Yeah.
So
like the forum post, that can absolutely be part of it, no matter what. Like anyone can copy and paste, say, hey, there's a new SIP, check it out. The SIP call, yeah, we can ask them, but we can't enforce that, honestly. Working group feedback. Like if there's no working group for a SIP, there's not going to be any feedback. The best thing we can do there is just take anything that may be in the forum. And then the rest, yeah, those are all enforceable, honestly. A GitHub PR exists or it does not. It is binary. Comments resolution, that is enforced. The PR may not merge until comments are resolved. CAB voting when ready, yes, we are codifying that process as well. So today it's a very loose process. It happens when people feel like it, honestly. And it's kind of weird. Community-wide voting, that's something that we're going to be codifying as well. The voting process is currently, it's all vibes, honestly. I can submit a SIP today and it could be a consensus breaking change. And I could say in the activation section, requires the steering committee and the governance cap to approve this. And that is technically a valid SIP and a valid activation method, even though it shouldn't be, right? So a consensus breaking change, should go to the community.
Oh, so right now it doesn't necessarily require a vote to...
Correct. As long as the text is very interesting. If you read it very carefully, the current SIP 000, there's a lot of foot guns in there if you're not careful. And a lot of it can be interpreted in different ways. Even though you may know the author's intent, you can read it entirely differently. So this is why Bryce has 2 SIPs open today, one for Clarity 4 and a rider on Clarity 4. He and I discussed the activation method, and in the past we may have asked for a community vote to say, yeah, we want this hard fork to happen. Based on the text of the SIP, I don't think that's needed. I think all that's needed is a technical CAB approval and the steering committee approval. So his SIP, I feel better about going that route because it fixes issues in Clarity 3 currently. Things that were done incorrectly or a few features that would be nice to have to help developers. And they're all opt-in. Like, it's not going to affect you unless you choose to use them. But it does require a hard fork because of the nature of the Clarity VM.
We did vote on Clarity 4 though, right?
No. I may have my numbering wrong.
Clarity 5 is the one that's current. Clarity 4 got voted on and implemented.
Okay, then yeah, the new one is Clarity 5.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right. Clarity 4 was just recent though. It was like only a couple months, like
Yeah,
at the end of the summer or into the fall.
that's right, because Clarity 5 would be Stacks version 3.4. And we always felt that was kind of weird.
Jesse, I have 2 questions.
Shoot.
Oh, actually, I have 3. So what Heroes put in there 1 to 3 is a recommendation for marketing and getting exposure to what you're trying to create, but the hard line stops at 4. Like, that's the hard requirements that were required. Then moving into 000. Are you going to make it more explicit rather than having ambiguity or various pathways that could be interpreted based on how it's written?
That was one of the main things that Hero and I discussed back with, I think it was SIP 31 or 32. Like, we realized the authors were taking advantage of the language in SIP 000 to put forth some ideas that we felt should have taken longer. So we're trying to codify the rules better and be more specific and explicit of what happens when you submit a SIP, all the way until how it may be voted on and what requirements there are for these votes.
Amazing.
It's a little tricky, I won't lie, because as I said, like, some things absolutely should require a public vote. Other things may be a hard fork, but they shouldn't require a public vote, or shouldn't require it. An author can absolutely call for it. Like Bryce's Clarity 5 SIP, he could call for a public vote, but it's just going to delay some bug fixes. So things like that we feel should remain as a CAB only vote. But yes, we are trying to codify that so everyone follows the same standards.
Okay, and so you're saying even though there's a requirement for a hard fork, it could still, in certain circumstances, go through the CABs and the steering committee and be pushed through without a vote?
Without a community vote, yes.
Okay, and could the community, if they felt that there was an issue, do they have a fallback? Is there a failsafe, a checks and balances?
They could try to influence the voting committees. So the steering committee or let's say it's a Clarity 5 is a technical one. They could try to influence the people voting for it on that cap.
Okay, so there's no fallback. So in other words, if a group of people decide that it doesn't have to go to community vote, there's no fallback. I'm looking at
that is a fair question.
Because I'm looking at a group
Yeah,
of people colluding to do something, and from a governance perspective, there should be a checks and balances, even if that's a fallback committee, like a fallback community committee selected, saying, okay, this is not going to go. Do you agree that this is okay? There's enough publicity around it. Yes, everyone's happy. Or there's a forum, there isn't enough pushback on the forum. And we go, okay, fine, we can move ahead now because there are no outstanding issues from community.
That is an excellent question. I wouldn't say we have a specific enforceable fallback in the current language I've been working on. However, in Clarity 5 SIP, I keep picking on this one. It's a great example. Bryce and I decided, based on the content of it, it doesn't require a community vote with the current language. You, as a community member or a SIP editor, can comment on the activation section and say, hey, this requires a community vote. And that comment would have to be resolved, and there would have to be reasoning by the SIP authors and or the steering committee of why it doesn't require a public vote. So there would be a paper trail of it if it doesn't align with what I will be proposing in my PR once the text is ready. I don't think there's any way we could do like a specific fallback without getting really complicated.
No,
unless you have an idea.
No, I have. Okay, so if there's a comment that has to be resolved before it can move to an actual the hard fork, let's say, or even to steering committee. You won't get to steering committee until such time as the issues have been resolved. Is that correct?
I'll have to double check, but yeah, that's my recollection.
Honest, I'm heavily process driven. That's why I'm walking through the steps. So that means you still have the opportunity that your comment hasn't been resolved adequately, but then you also have that attack vector again that somebody could stall an entire process because you can't close a comment. So I'm looking at all the vectors. So you still might need a second out to stop all these attack vectors.
Yes. So in that case, I can absolutely be the overriding vote as a repository maintainer, right? So you see why I don't want to be a SIP editor as well, or even on technical cab. If I'm a repository maintainer, like that's a little too much power if you ask me. But let's say that there is a good faith effort to resolve a activation section comment of should there be a community vote or not for a specific SIP, and whoever made the comment just is not responsive. Yeah, in good faith, I can read the comments and decide yes or no, has this been addressed, and then use all the available feedback and then make a decision as the overriding vote. So that could be the fallback.
Okay, great. Okay, so and then there would be
I use me as a
yourself.
repository maintainer, but there are, there's a few other repository maintainers who are not as active as well.
Yeah, so there's a group of people that that could jump in as experts and then say yay or nay, yes or no, and then we can move forward. Okay. So the last thing I have,
the steering committee as well.
Yeah. So the steering committee, this is a question I brought up often. Who's on the steering committee and how are those people selected?
Yes, so that has been a sticking point for me for a few months. I'm doing my best to get new people on the steering committee. Jude has been on it since its inception 4+ years ago. He's great at it, but we need more people. The other two people, Marvin and Gina, they're not as responsive as I would like. The current SIP 000 process defines that the Stacks Open Internet Foundation board needs to nominate people to the steering committee. So I have been pushing to have that happen and nominate several new people with alternates in case of people not being responsive. So my idea that I proposed was at least one from the foundation, one from Stacks Labs, one from the community, and then we have 2 alternates. So we can always have a 3 out of 5 quorum.
Awesome. That's actually really, really cool. I'm glad that there's an answer on that, because that's something that's bugged me for a very long time. how we progress this committee, because I just see that as a potential problem when we have cabs.
It has been a problem because, you know, Jude likes to take time off sometimes. And if he's not around and Marvin and Gina don't respond, then the steering committee is effectively not available. So it's been on my mind as well. I'm doing my best to address it, but we are constrained in how we can address it right now, like based on the current text. The other cabs, you know, the like technical cab, less constrained. We can update and replace members as needed in those. But to my mind, the steering committee is definitely more important. We need to get a better handle on that.
Awesome. I also want to say thank you, Jesse, for picking up the mantle.
Yeah, I need help. You know,
always here.
Yeah, it's sometimes it feels like if I don't do it, no one does it, and I don't like having that feeling. I would love to help other people do this. You know, take it off my plate, and I can just assist you. So yeah, volunteers, please.
Where would you like them to volunteer? Directly with yourself, or just drop something in GitHub?
Either way, you know, they can reach out to me directly, or, you know, create an issue in GitHub. Hero Gamer is also a great resource to funnel people through. Yeah, maybe we should create a forum post about this, just a call for action, and people can nominate themselves to different cabs, and we can see what we have.
Yeah, awesome.
And I will say, once we get into the habit of using the Zero Authority platform, I think things will get a lot easier to maintain.
Yeah, there can be a lot of more funneling. It's a lot easier than GitHub trying to navigate. It's slightly easier than Forum, only because of the way Forum is. Forum is a really good tool, and it's good to have both, but Zero Authority will definitely make it a little bit easier. But maybe we need to put a link in there. Would you like to join? And then they can click and it takes them somewhere.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea.
We can put it in our next meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Awesome. Hero, are you back with us? Undelayed? Maybe not.
I'm back. I don't know if there's delay.
Might be a minor delay, but I think
Is there a delay?
a little bit,
No.
but just a little.
Oh man, there's still delay. That sucks.
Yeah, you got to turn off your Claude bot.
Okay. Well, no, I really appreciate Jesse's sprinkling in the GitHub. That's really
Right. Right on, right on. Hero, did we have anything else on the agenda for today? All right. So the last thing from Hero is just to tell people to check out the Stacks forum. That's at stacks.co, or it's actually stacks. What is it? Stacks. There's a couple of different ways to get there. Forum.stacks.org is actually where I usually go. So check out the Stacks forum. Get over into the STIP repo. We are looking for more people to get involved. So if you're interested in getting involved, we need help. Reach out to Jesse, Hero, let us know. We'll get in touch with people for you. Check out the forum, be on the lookout, get involved with Zero Authority DAO. You can start engaging with the SIP process right there now. It's important. The more input we get from people in the ecosystem, the stronger the entire ecosystem will be. And it takes everybody to get involved. We can't rely on one or two people to do all of it, because then it gets taxed and stressful, and it's hard to achieve. And a huge shout out to Jesse for what he's been doing, because I know the three of us all know, because we've been doing the SIP show and the SIP calls for a while now, and the process is actually getting way more engaged, and there's a lot more activity going on there. So that's requiring a lot more effort to make sure everything's more organized and the processes are getting streamlined. And so huge thanks to Jesse for the work he's been doing to make this on the back end too a lot, so man, thank you for what you're doing. Always a pleasure to have you on here, by the way. We do this every week, not obligating you obviously, but feel free anytime. We're happy to have you jump in if you're looking to even just update us on the process.
I do actually have a conflict every Friday, but if it ends early, I can absolutely hop in.
Anytime, you're always welcome. And the link you use to join will probably be the same link. So don't be a stranger. I'm sure Hero will beg you to come on periodically anyway. But we're here every Friday. I think that's it. Anything else, Haddy, Jesse?
No, that's it. Yeah, great discussion, guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. Another great episode of the SIP show. We will be rebroadcasting a little bit more content. Again, back in action after about a 2-week temporary pause on our live streams, and we're right back at it. It's like falling off a horse, I guess. Thank you guys for joining. Y'all have a blessed day. By the way, I am slightly distracted by your guitars, man. Every time I am a little bit of a musician myself, so it's like I just want to pick up a guitar and play every time I see one. So I got through the show without actually finding my guitar, which is probably a good thing for everybody. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Stay tuned for more content about what's going on in the Stacks ecosystem, and tune back in on Monday. We'll see you live at 8:30 a.m. every Monday through Friday. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Peace out. Thank you, Haddy. Thank you, Hero.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Peace out.